Greetings, YouTube. The Doctor is in. Dr. Urias Papers here, coming at you with another commentary on Dungeons & Dragons. And welcome to the channel that takes power gaming to the next level. Today on the Doctor Spell Prognosis, we're going to be talking about the spell Simulacrum. We're giving this spell an S. But first, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you have any questions or comments, please leave a question or comment. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you know when I've got another video out. All right, let's talk about this spell and go through some of its basics. We are giving it an S. It is a 7th level spell that is usable by wizards only, but it's a good one for bards to pick up. It's another one of these good ones, and because it's an S, it's really one that bards, I think, should be looking at with Magical Secrets. They can get this one, I think, at 14th level. So, 7th level spell, it does have a casting time of 12 hours, which is very long. So you're not going to be casting this in combat. You need to have a place to go, but it is not a concentration spell, and it does last until it is dispelled. You do need to understand that if a Dispel Magic dispels this, then it's gone. So it has a range of touch, verbal, somatic, and material component, and the big material component in this one is powdered ruby worth 1,500 gold pieces sprinkled over the duplicate and consumed by the spell. So, snow or ice, sufficient for blah, some hair, fingernail clippings for blah, placed in the ice or snow, blah. So all of that can pretty much be replaced with a focus. The last one cannot. So it is a component that costs money. So there is that. Now, at this level, that's not hard to get, but you still have to find powdered ruby, so the rubies could be hard to get. So you shape an illusory duplicate of one beast or humanoid that is within range, which is touch, for the entire casting time of the spell. So you could duplicate yourself, or you could duplicate somebody else. So, you know, I could think of other things that would be great too, like if you had a Gloomstalker in your party and you wanted to duplicate that. Now, a lot of the things that are tied to those kinds of characters are tied to their items and their bling that they have, their magical weapons, their magical armor. So you have to be careful with this because you don't duplicate that stuff. But if you're duplicating yourself and you're a wizard or a bard, you're going to be able to cast spells. We're going to get into that. So the duplicate is a creature partially real and formed from ice and snow and can take actions and otherwise be affected as a normal creature. It appears to be the same as the original, but it has half the creature's hit point maximum and is formed without any equipment, so it's naked. Otherwise, the illusion uses all the statistics of the creature it duplicates, except that it is a construct. So there is some arguments about whether you can actually heal a construct or not. There is a paragraph in here that says how you do heal it if it's damaged, so healing spells probably are not going to do anything to it. The simulacrum is friendly to you and creatures you designate. It obeys your spoken commands, moving and acting in accordance with your wishes and acting on your turn in combat, not costing you a turn to make it do stuff. Remember that. The simulacrum lacks the ability to learn or become more powerful, so it never increases its level or abilities, nor can it regain expended spell slots. That's a really important one. So it doesn't have equipment, and it cannot regain expended spell slots. So when you cast this spell, wizards and bards only ever get one 7th level spell slot, except at 20th level. There it is right there. Bard is the same, 20th level. So when you cast this spell, more than likely your 7th level spell slot will be gone, meaning the simulacrum will be missing that slot. You should never cast this spell when you are missing spell slots. You should always cast this spell when you are at full spell slots. But again, you're going to be burning your 7th level spell slot, so it will be missing that 7th level spell slot, so it will not be able to cast simulacrum itself. But we will get to how you get around that. So there is a way around that. And of course, it won't regain any spell slots after it casts things. So you do have to pay attention to that. So if the simulacrum is damaged, so here's the healing part, you can repair it in an alchemical lab Using rare herbs and minerals worth 100 gold pieces per hit points it regains. If it drops to 0, it's gone. And then if you cast this spell again, so that's important. If you cast this spell again, the duplicate you created with the spell is instantly destroyed. So you can only have one. You can only have one. Now, do I think it's worth healing this for 100 gold pieces per hit points? No, probably not. If you're duplicating yourself, it is limited in the number of spells it can cast. It can't regain them, and once they're gone, it's just a thing walking around that might be able to do some skill checks at that point, unless you give it some equipment. So, all right, let's go over some pros and cons of this. Pros, same stats as the parent creature. That's pretty awesome. I think that's great. You can repair it. I mean, the big one is that same stats as the parent creature. You can repair it if you want, but that I'm keeping that as a pro, but there are issues with that as well. Cons. Half hit points. Doesn't have your full hit points. It doesn't regain spell slots. That's a big one. It's a construct, meaning it probably can't be healed. And you cannot cast the spells twice, but there are ways around that. So I think some things to keep in mind about this spell. As you get higher in level, the simulacrum gets much better. If you are able to cast 9th level spells and use simulacrum yourself, the simulacrum also is able to cast 9th level spells, which is massive, and that goes into one of the broken parts of this. If you cast simulacrum and you are 17th level meaning a wizard that is 17th level has a 9th level spell, a bard that is 17th level has a 9th level spell. So if you are 17th level and you cast this, you can cast Wish. Okay? And so can your simulacrum. So you have all your spells, and you have all your spell slots. You're fresh, you're ready to go. You cast simulacrum. You copy yourself. Now you've got you and a simulacrum, but so the first point in which you can get a 9th level spell is 17th level. You also have only one slot. So you've burned this one slot, okay? It's gone. Your simulacrum also does not have that 7th level spot, but the simulacrum can use Wish. So it can use Wish to cast simulacrum. But what you have to do is you cast simulacrum, you copy yourself. The simulacrum is there without a 7th level slot. You both go to sleep. You rest for 8 hours. You wake up fresh. Now you've got all your spell slots, all of them. Your simulacrum casts Wish to cast simulacrum on you, creating a new duplicate that has all of its spell slots, which can then you go back to sleep with the simulacrums, and that new simulacrum costs simulacrum on you, creating a new simulacrum with all of its spell slots. And it's a new thing, so each one is casting simulacrum itself, not the previous simulacrums. And essentially, you're not going to get infinite simulacrums, but you're going to get quite a few. It's based off of how many days you want to do this, how much your DM is going to tolerate. That's another big thing too. But once you cast it, and then you rest with all your spell slots, your simulacrum casts Wish to simulate simulacrum, casting it on you, copying you. Now you have a new simulacrum that has all of its spell slots, all of them. That first simulacrum now is missing a 7th level spell slot and a 9th level spell slot because it cast Wish. But the new simulacrum has all of its spell slots. So simulacrum number 2 has all of its spell slots. It casts simulacrum on you. So it is missing now its 7th level spell slot, but there's a new simulacrum that has all of its spell slots. It casts simulacrum on you because you have all of your spells, and then it just goes and goes and goes and goes from there. So again, it's how much your DM is going to tolerate. So simulacrum 1 will be missing a 7th level spell slot. You rest. Simulacrum 2 will have all of its spell slots. It casts Wish. So now it's missing its 9th level spell slots to cast simulacrum on you, creating Simulacrum 3, which has all of its spell slots, because you haven't cast any spells. Then Simulacrum 3 casts Simulacrum on you, creating Simulacrum 4 with all of its spell slots, and you just go from there. Okay. I think another great use of this spell, and a reason why it is an S level, is it kind of allows you to cast a concentration spell, and your Simulacrum can cast a concentration spell. So you can actually have a couple of different concentration spells going at a time. And if you're high enough to cast Wish and you're able to do the infinite Simulacrum, then you're going to have all kinds of stupidity going on with concentration spells. I think another great thing with this spell, and it's the last thing that I'm going to highlight, is to use some of these create undead, animate undead spells with necromancy and possibly an artificer. So if you're an artillerist and you can cast protector, you can give temporary hit points to undead that you create or animate. In addition, a necromancer of 10th level or higher adds, 6th level or higher, adds their wizard level to the creatures that they animate or create, and adds the proficiency bonus to weapon damage. Now you can create, if it's you and a Simulacrum and you're doing all this stuff, so if we look at Animate Dead, you can create one zombie or skeleton. So zombies have 22 hit points, skeletons have 13 hit points. If you are a 14th level wizard, now that zombie is going to have 36 hit points, and that skeleton is going to have 27 hit points. And if you zap them with a protector cannon, because you can use this over and over and over again until you get the max. At this level, you should be at least a 4th, so that's another 12 temporary hit points. So now this is 27 plus 12 is 39, and this is 36 plus 12 is 48. So every one of these, and then your Simulacrum also casts it. Now, as a wizard of 14th level, if you're going in and casting your Simulacrum at base level, you can cast 3. So you can cast this 3 times, and your Simulacrum can cast it 3 times. So you will have either 3 zombies or 3 skeletons flipping around with a bunch of hit points. Then you can go through your 4th level spells, and you have 3, and your Simulacrum has 3. So at that point, as a 4th level, you can animate or reassert control over 2 additional. So 3. So that's 3 more for you and 3 more for the Simulacrum. And then you're running around with 3 from the base casting of all your 3rd level slots, and 3 from your casting of 4th level slots. So 6, and your Simulacrum is running around with 6 is 12. 12, and if you cast this at 5th level, then you can reassert control over all of yours, and your Simulacrum can also do the same thing. So you'll be running around, let's say you got zombies, you'll be running around with 6 zombies that have 48 hit points apiece, and so will your Simulacrum. In addition, if you cast Create Undead, then you get to bring forth 3 ghouls, and again, if you're 14th level, these ghouls are going to have a base 36, and if you're an artillerist, then they're going to have 48 hit points. You're going to be bringing 3 around. You could bring whites around or ghasts, which makes it even... I mean, these things are going to have just tons and tons of hit points. So you can do the same thing with these 2. And these, there is a cost to this one. There is no cost to this one. You just have to be careful with the spell slots for reasserting control. That's it. But just remember, these have to be temporary undead, because eventually your Simulacrum is going to run out of spell slots and it can't reassert control over them, and then you're going to lose control. But you just send those forward first and have them just be cannon fodder. All right, that is what I have for everybody today. I appreciate everybody tuning in, and I will catch everybody later.